Got it.
Hey, Douglas, how are you today?
Yeah, good. I'm in New York and it's thick snow. Where are you? Are
I'm in
you
Toronto. We're talking from Canada, so we've got the same thing. I could show you my backyard. I could barely see out my window. Yeah,
fantastic?
we've got it too, but this is what we have to live with when we live here in the winter, right?
Yeah, I love it. I gotta say, I absolutely adore it. I still wake up and go, "Oh my God, it's snowing!" Oh my God, I'm like, let's go walking, and yeah. And there's
Yeah.
something about the whole pandemic where everyone tries to eat in sheds in the street with these burners and your thermals on, which I like. I think it's great fun. All that
I
sort of.
agree. I know, like before the pandemic, I would never have thought that. But now, with eating with my jacket under a lamplight, why not, right?
Yeah, I know there's a kind of resourceful to it that we were out somewhere a month ago and it was just the most torrential rain. And you just thought, this is hilarious. It's kind of romantic and, bonkers. But anyway, yeah.
It is. You got to do what you got to do. Listen, it's such a thrill for me to talk to you this morning because honestly, I am such a big fan. I just need to know, is there anything that you cannot do?
Oh my God. Ask my wife. Yeah, no, there's many. There's only one thing I can do, which is act a little bit, I think. But
A
yeah.
little bit. Yeah, I'd say a little bit more than a little bit. You are so, so good. I mean, I've seen you on the stage, I've seen you in film, I've seen you on TV. And now this fantastic film, I loved it. And I loved that you shot it in Canada.
Yeah, second film I've shot there with her. She's a real wonderful person, Joan. And the reason I was there really, I don't know if you know much about her, but she has this little sort of cottage industry. I mean, truly living as an artist. She's just living a quiet life in Canada, writing a script, I think, every year or 2 years
Yeah.
about the life around her, always having women at the forefront. It's always a woman's story. It's
Yeah.
always a woman lead. Just gentle comedies, but also they're sort of honest. This is a film about adultery as about as much as anything.
Yes.
And it is. And she offered me a part. She loves English actors or British actors, so that's suits me down to the ground. She offered me a role as a sort of half idiot homeless person in a film called The Bet, which I turned up and I loved the crew. They always shoot in Sault Ste. Marie
Yes.
in the Soo, and employ a lot of the people there, local people. And I just loved the whole setup and I got to know them all. Writing's good. And then she offered me this one, which is a very different thing, but I really admire gradually this body of work that she's making, almost regardless of what critical appreciation there is. You can love it or you can hate it. It's but she's carrying on with what she does.
Yeah.
So it's a nice, and in some ways it sort of harks back to my theatre life. There's an ensemble, there's a crew that you work with, and there's good writing, and I trust the environment very well. So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've shot in Canada a lot as well.
Yes, yes, I know. We'd love to have you. Keep coming back. We love it. But Douglas, this story, I mean, obviously resonated with me because it's for people my age. It's a rom-com for the older audience. Which I like because you don't see that very often these days. And so I loved that you and Gina, these characters that you play, they have this bond, obviously, because of, well, first they bond over Shakespeare, which is okay, all right, but it's a slow build. And I wanted to know between you and Gina, like, was it an interest, immediate chemistry with the two of you, or had you known each other before and then you just felt comfortable with each other?
Well, I certainly knew her, and I worked with Harold Pinter for a long time in England,
Yes.
and Gina was part of that axis and did some of his plays. I mean, I'd spent 10 years just doing that, really, that and a bit of Shakespeare, and so I don't think we'd been in any of those together, but we'd been at various readings and radio things and things like that. So I certainly knew her and knew of her. I mean, I just really respect. I mean, yes, I think there are films, love romance films with someone my age with a woman who's much younger,
Yeah.
but there aren't many where the woman is the same age as me, and it is the center of the film really, and is
Exactly.
making those kind of decisions and mistakes, and there's a sort of gentle humor, gentle, honest, brutal humor to it all that I loved. So yeah, it's I agree with all you're saying, really.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was lovely. And yeah, like you say, it is about adultery, and but older people do this too. Like, it's not just for the young,
Well,
and
yeah, I think there is a sort of honesty. I mean, how do you make love to the same person for your entire adult life? I mean, there's this sort of honesty in the film where unless you're sort of compromising over everything, you're going to have to have a hard job doing that. And
yeah,
most of us, are finding that we don't do the same job for our entire lives now, and often we don't have the same relationship. But I mean,
right.
we're also in a state of sort of openness to it. I think there's a sort of ability for something to still happen in their lives, which I find
Yeah.
interesting and encouraging.
I know, I agree. I agree. Now, first of all, being a theater actor and having done Shakespeare before, like, is Shakespeare really difficult for an actor, or do you like that challenge because of the language?
Well, I've sort of grown up. I mean, it's really all I wanted to do. Really, I think probably it's much more fun for the actors than it is for the audience. There's a sort of bottomless pit of knowledge. I mean, I played Romeo 3 times.
Yes.
And I've played Hamlet, who's in this. And I know when I played Hamlet, I think I was 27 maybe. And I just thought, well, I just need to play just this role for the rest of my career, and I'll be endlessly excavating what's in it and the wisdom in it and the observation in it. And you could just carry on playing it and still keep learning. It's sort of deliberately left open circles. So you are in the company of a true genius. It's like playing Mozart every day or getting to copy Michelangelo or something like that. I mean, he is a master. Plus there's, because it's in verse, once you become familiar with the verse, there's all sorts of signals and signs and lessons in it to stage directions, really, that can
Right.
help you. So yeah, I suppose I feel very confident in that world. I've directed Shakespeare and played most of the great raw bleeding chunks of Titus Andronicus and those sort of
Yeah, the
so
biggies.
yeah, and it was also delightful to come to this film and just go, okay, I get to speak, because I do miss it. And
Yeah.
there's there's certain thing in your life. It's a lovely thing to do, to be just the sheer muscle of speaking, of learning the whole of Hamlet. It's sort of good for the soul somehow. I mean, it's
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, and it's perfect for this movie because it is so romantic. I mean, what's more romantic than Romeo and Juliet, and watching
right.
these two characters play this, but then fall in love in real life, like in the film. It's lovely. I liked it, and not only dramatic film, but there's a lot of comedy elements in this too. And I got to tell you, you make a good drunk. Is that
Well,
hard? That
just
scene when you
sure.
broke in to her house, I'm on the floor, honestly. Like, how did he? I'm like, get out! And how is her husband not waking up? Right?
No, yeah. Sheer, all I can say is just endless research, hours and hours, nights and nights, constant drinking. I'm definitely a method actor in that way.
Well, that's good to hear.
No, it is quite funny because I've been doing this series called The Great. I don't know if you've
Yes,
seen
it is
playing,
the great. We'll talk about that in a second. Oh my God, it's such a good show.
but that I don't think I've done 2 series of that. I don't think there's a scene where he's not drunk, that character.
Yeah.
So it was quite funny having, then I sort of watched this again, having shot it, and thought, oh my God, I'm now drunk at this one. Like, but in some ways, there's, these characters at that age in their life, living what they do with this sort of just the small hopes for themselves and the shyness, the diffidence that they have about what could possibly happen to them in their lives. You need alcohol or some,
Yeah. Yeah.
lubricating thing that's going to allow them to break out and do something. So I kind of understand it. Yeah, but it was great fun. The whole, yeah, I just had to be calmed down. I was enjoying myself too much.
Oh, that's so great. And also you work opposite one of our great Canadian actresses, Linda Cash. I mean,
Oh God.
she's our cream cheese lady. I don't know if you know that. She was
I
the cream
didn't
cheese
know
lady.
that. I
Oh, I mean,
know.
come on.
I work with her and I see this sort of response around her, which so I sort of have a dim perception of it, but it was just fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, but it looked like a lot of fun. I got to ask you, Douglas. I mean, you, like I said earlier when we started the conversation, you have been in almost everything. Like from, I saw you in the West End of Willy Wonka when it opened. I happened to be in London, so I saw that great performance. Then, of course, you win a Tony for La Cage aux Folles. I mean, do you miss putting on the heels?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm wearing them right now,
Oh,
actually.
good. Okay. Just wanted to make sure, that
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you didn't forget that. But then I look at your resume of like Black Mirror. Oh my God. One of the best episodes, I think. I love
Thank you.
that series. I wish there would be more of them. I don't know. It's kind of stopped, but I want more. The Night Manager. And then we freaking see you in The Joker as Alfred. Like, was that like a lifelong dream role?
Yeah, it was really. It was kind of odd because there's secrecy around those sort of superhero films is crazy. They give you like 3 lines of your part, and nobody can say what the role is actually called, and nobody tells you who's. It's kind of. And I met Todd, and
Oh God, it was so good.
yeah, and it was. I mean, it's a fantastic film too, don't you think? I mean, I think it's a
Yes.
really. I mean, it's not one of the Marvel films. It really is like Taxi Driver or something. It's a phenomenal sort of
Oh
an
yeah.
incredible performance by him. Yeah, well, I mean, yes, it's what you call a moving target, I suppose. I just keep. I mean, really, everything I do is based on the script and really what I've just done. So
Right.
I'm sort of trying to deepen what I'm doing all the time, so that I keep learning, I suppose. But yeah, and then and luckily I manage to. I'm not sort of getting just. I can be different people. So I'm really more interested in not being myself and being somebody else than I am in being famous. You know what I mean? So I don't really want to. It's nice to just constantly be different people all the time.
Do you ever get surprised at when you take a role and then you've done it, it's done, and then it airs? Okay, so look at something like The Undoing. I mean, the popularity of that series, like it was riveting, and I also like the fact I loved it, and I like the fact that I got to watch it each week. That it wasn't a binge thing; you had to wait. But the
Yeah, I like that.
anticipation and just working on that and being in something like that, and then you see how it's hit with audiences. Do you ever get surprised, like, wow, I can't believe that this one took off?
Well, yeah. I mean, I certainly knew that would have. I knew from the script that it would have. I read it and said to my wife, "Oh, we'll really. This is the sort of thing we will love to watch."
Yeah.
But actually, then Suzanne Bier, who I'd worked with twice, I did The Night Manager with her,
Right. Yeah.
and a movie with her before that. I turned it down. She phoned me up and said, "Please just." And I said, "It's just too small a contribution, really. I mean, I can just come in and do these things, but at the moment, I just want to have something I can get my teeth into more." And she just said, "Okay, please, just turn up for a couple of days and play this role." So I relented and loved every minute, of course, and ended
Of
up
course.
and
Yeah.
Hugh's fantastic, and Nicole, of course, is a legend, and Susanna Bier is a
Oh,
really wonderful director.
yeah.
So I don't know why I was being so churlish, but anyway. So yes, it was it was great stuff. And Hugh is sort of developing and deepening into this really complex actor now.
Isn't he?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Just
agree.
had children, I think it sort of deepened him, or something, I don't know. But
Yeah.
anyway,
No, I completely agree with you. Okay. So, any more musicals in your horizon?
well, I've written one. So
Oh,
yeah, this extraordinary situation where I've always written a lot of music for other people. I've never had any success whatsoever doing it. I've sort of written songs for people and had a little few albums here and there, just sort of secret little folk things, sometimes under different names and things. And then Regent's Park Open Air commissioned me to write the music and lyrics for 101 Dalmatians. And apparently Disney don't own the stage rights to 101. They only own the film rights. And
interesting. Okay.
so
Yeah.
3 years ago, I wrote the whole thing
Yeah.
and went to the first day's rehearsal, cast of 40 people and puppeteers and all the rest of it, listened to my score, burst into tears.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
it's something I've not had before, a whole cast sort of singing. And then I think the following day it was canceled for COVID,
Yeah.
put on hold. A year went past and I rewrote, and we had more workshops, and it did improve. And then they put it back on sale again, and then they pulled it in January. So then we all just kind of stopped again,
Wow.
and now it's on sale for June and August
Oh,
in
good.
London.
Oh,
So
awesome.
yeah, so I won't be in that, but I'm daily at the piano writing. Right now, I'm sort of in a recording studio all this week to record there's 25 songs. So
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's thrilling. That's the closest I've got to, I'm not playing Cruella.
Yeah,
But
well, you could though. You could.
it's
I
tempting.
think you could pull that off.
I'd love to, but I don't know now that you're meant to. I think probably there might be some, things have changed a bit. They would have to be a woman's part, and I don't want to take any more.
I know. Too much of this cancel culture or whatever.
Well, it is a female role in her
Yeah.
50s, so I shouldn't really be stealing those roles,
Well,
But,
I think you can. I think you can do it. Okay, so to wrap it up, look, I gotta ask. We have Valentine's Day coming up. So, what's the big, grand, romantic gesture you're going to give your wife this year?
Well, I just took her to Rome
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
this weekend. It was her birthday kind of, and yeah, I said, listen, I've got a feeling we have double vaccination, we have a booster, we've both got a negative test.
Good.
Nothing wrong with it. We can get on a plane. We flew to Rome.
Nice.
We arrived. The Sistine Chapel was more or less empty.
Wow. What? Yeah. See, there's pros and cons to this COVID thing, and I have to say, I can't wait to start traveling again. But yeah, right. Things are empty, so you don't have to.
Well, you can if you have 3 vaxes and all the rest of it. You can travel. So we went, and every taxi driver was, "Oh my God, you're here!" And people paying money, and I was like, "Yeah, it's good." We went to the Pantheon. Nobody there.
Nice.
We ate outdoors because, of course, it's balmy enough in the Mediterranean at the moment.
Yeah.
To sit. And then we were there 3 days and flew back. So I think I've done my
okay. Yeah. You passed the test. You're all good.
I am a big romantic, though. I'm constantly planning.
Good for you. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, your wife is very lucky, I have to say, and I was very lucky today to talk to you, Douglas. Thank you so much for your time. Honestly, I really, really enjoyed this film, and I just love everything that you do. You're such a great talent. Thank you for everything.
Kind of you. Thank you. All right.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.